I'll show a quick tip on how to improve the type bindings that we did for the ant select component beforehand, and show how we can use polymorphic variants to make sure that we don't have any typos whatsoever. So in the last video, we had set mode, which can be either multiple, default, or tags to multiple, but initially I had tried to do multi. And if I save that, the compiler is completely happy because the types simply say that the mode is some optional string, and this is indeed an optional string. And if we look at the generated JavaScript down here, you can see that multi comes through. However, what's going to happen is at runtime, this is simply just going to be incorrect. So if I look at this, I can no longer select multiple, and that's because we provide the wrong mode value. So what I want to do is make it so that those kinds of typos are impossible. And the way to do that is to use Bucklescript's bindings. So we're going to say instead of this string, we have a polymorphic variant. So that's a backtick here. And we can say, for example, A or B, and we'll add that in. Let's see, like that. There we go. If there's no space here, then it thinks that it is an array. So that space is important. And now this is going to break the current usage of our component because we're providing a string when really we wanted an A or B. So you can see how we're already getting some safety here where we have limited the inputs from any infinite number of strings, like multi or multiple or multiples, to either A or B. What we want to do instead is probably reflect the actual name. So let's do multiple or default or tags. And now this is looking pretty good. We should get, now we get error messages whenever we try to use mode that tell us, hey, these are the exact values that this has to be. So it kind of guides us in the proper direction. So let's come over here and change our usage of it. So we'll say I want multiple now. And you can see this is almost correct, except that the compiled JavaScript output this as just some number. And that's because this is a much faster optimization to use underneath the hood for the compiler. So what we're going to do is add one more annotation, and we're going to tell Bucklescript that, hey, this is actually a string. Like we want this to, at runtime, be represented as a string. You can see how now this comes out as multiple. And all that does is take the value of this. So if we save that, you can see, or I say multiples, and then we update our usage of it. There we go. So you can see that it simply just reflects the stringified version of this. So we wanted that to be multiple. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's fix this, see how it updates. If we wanted this to be something else, for example, maybe we wanted this to be represented as multi because we're just cool like that. I believe we can do something like bs.as multiple. Just do something like that and save it. Let's maybe not tilde. PPP. And let's see, what does our error look like? It's now saying we have to use multi. No, let's put default. There we go. You can see that it came out as multi. So we can control what the compiler actually outputs this as. But in this case, I'm perfectly happy to just say, let's use multiple default tags. Let's change this over to multiple. Now this is going to be right. Whenever we come in here and we use this new thing, you can see that it has this multiple behavior, which is exactly what we want. And we can't get it wrong now. If we ever, for example, tried to say, if we had a typo where we said multiple, the compiler will immediately say, hey, this is not going to be the right thing. And if we compare that to the previous behavior where it compiled and JavaScript ran and it simply didn't behave as we expected, and it took some time to discover that, this is a great way to push those error cases up front so we can just fix them immediately and know that this is going to work whenever it compiles. So much nicer experience.